Good afternoon. Today is April 15th, and I'll continue to be talking about the coronavirus. So, the first piece of news that I'd like to talk about today is that a retail report shows the biggest decline in sales in 3 decades of record keeping. So, retail sales plunged in March as businesses shuttered from coast to coast and wary shoppers restricted their spending, a drop by far the largest in nearly 3 decades the government has tracked the data. So the total sales of retail purchases in stores and online, as well as auto and gasoline sales, fell 8.7% from the previous month, the Commerce Department said today. So the situation has almost certainly worsened since then. So the retail stores probably fell more than 8.7% because most businesses didn't shut down until late March or early April and is not recorded in the data. And what happens to the retail matters to the broader economy. The sector of retail stores accounts for more than 1 in 10 U.S. jobs, and the stores generate billions of dollars in rent for commercial landlords, ad sales for local media outlets, and sales tax receipts for state and local governments. If retailers survive, maybe reopen, then they can rehire workers, and the economy will improve better quickly, but as you can see here, retail sales are almost certainly dropping. So what happens here is that the economy will probably recover in less time because now workers can't go back working. These money spent to could be just gone to waste, and we have to make sure that the retail sector grows, and then the economy could possibly grow back. And while stocks have been steadily climbing in recent weeks, investors have begun to focus on the prospect of an eventual rebound from the economic collapse. However, they've just confronted by a number of developments that highlights just how badly the economy is faring right now. Basically, the economy is collapsing, as we can say, as from these retail sales and more data shown. The second piece of news I like to talk about today is that Mayor Blasio of New York City said this morning that he pleaded for federal help that the coronavirus outbreak and shutdown has prompted, costing the city billions in lost revenue. Mayor Blasio said that our revenue is gone, our tax base is gone, our economy is gone, and $5 to $10 billion could have been lost, which we would normally use to support our first responders, our basic services, everything that keeps the biggest city in America going. The city has shed roughly 475,000 jobs from April 1st, and this led to $9.7 billion of shortfall in tax revenue. So here it says that New York City is losing money. They don't have money to pay these equipment for well-needed equipment for the healthcare sector, and that we're going to Mayor Blasio actually said that they're going to lose more than that, and as revenue losses are deepening. So here Mayor Blasio basically pleads for help. As we can see, almost more than $10 billion have been lost by New York City because people are losing their jobs, and this is just another example of how the economy is actually falling pretty bad right now, as we can see. The third thing that I'd like to talk about is that Governor Cuomo of New York announced executive order for face coverings in public. So, imposing a stricter measure to control the spread of the coronavirus, Mr. Cuomo said out today that he would start requiring people in New York to wear masks or face coverings in public whenever social distancing was not possible. So, this order will take effect on Friday and will apply to people who cannot keep 6 feet away from others in public settings, such as on a bus or subway or a crowded sidewalk inside a grocery store. So, stopping the first spread is everything. said Mr. Cuomo during his daily briefing, how can you not wear a mask when you're going to come close to a person? Because droplets, the virus spreads by droplets. That's why if you have the virus and you cough on somebody, then they're going to get the virus, because the virus spreads by droplets. And by wearing a mask, we can stop, maybe stop the spread of these droplets, and as a result, we can maybe stop the virus from spreading to more people. The local governments in New York would enforce the order, but he noted that the failure to wear a face covering would not lead to people being ordered out of public transit. He said the state would consider issuing civil penalties to people who fail to abide the order. And this is similar to a rule that was issued in New Jersey last week, requiring customers to wear face coverings inside the store by Governor Murphy. Some stores have even taken a stronger stance, individual stores, asking people to leave if they have no face coverings. And signs have popped up at stores throughout New Jersey warning customers that they will not be allowed in unless they cover their faces. So maybe this is just an idea of what New York will look like after the restrictions are carried out. So New York and New Jersey have both been almost an epicenter at the pandemic in the United States, and they have worked in tandem since the outbreak, shutting non-essential businesses at the same time, forming a coalition with neighboring states to coordinate the reopening of their economies. And so let's just hope that the virus will be stopped by these strong measures. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good day.